Lastly, in music, I seen the LA rapper list.
Yeah, the complex list.
It's not my business.
Okay.
I saw Game reply. I saw him create a new list.
What number was Game on that original list? I want to say 11, I think.
Wherever he was, he disagreed.
He didn't care for that, yeah.
And he put out a list. What I do like about his list is their list I saw 1 to 50. His list was 1 to 100. I like that. Like, you know more LA rappers than Complex.
Or I included more niggas that didn't necessarily get their props.
You get to it. So it's not you just highlighting you.
On Game's list, where did he fall?
He was number 5
on his list.
He put himself as number 5?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that?
I'm not mad at him being
I gotta see who the 4 are.
I respect just not putting yourself as number 1.
Pac, Snoop, Cube, Kendrick.
Pac.
I have some criterion questions.
And the complex list didn't have Pac on it.
Yeah, because they didn't put Pac, for example, on the complex list because he's not an LA rapper. I mean, in lots of ways, even West Coast rappers, to me, is more palatable, is more plausible. But that's a stretch. I mean, he moved to Marin County when he was 16. But we could say the same thing about people who grew up, like what's his name, grew up in Philly, from Philly, but moved to the West Coast, Corrupt, right? So I get it. But number 5 for me, he would be higher on my list. Would he be? Yeah, he would have been 3 on my list, but 4 on my list, but I wouldn't have had Pac because I don't consider Pac a LA artist.
So I'm gonna give you the top 10. I'll give you Complex. I'm just gonna do 10, and then I'll give you Games. 10 Nipsey Hussle. This is Complex list. 9 Eazy-E. 8 Be Real. 7 Ice-T. 6 DJ Quick. 5 Tyler the Creator. 4 Dr. Dre. 3 Ice Cube. 2 Snoop Dogg. 1 Kendrick Lamar. And then on Games list, top 10 is Exhibit, Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, DJ Quick, Corrupt, The Game, Kendrick Lamar, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, and Pac.
Yeah, nah, that's enough for me. For one, I think Eazy-E is too high. I think Eazy-E is too high. Even forget about the fact that I'm not even talking about the fact that the Ice Cube wrote everything, right? Which is a big part of it for me, and that's not like that's an urban legend. That's just a fact. Right?
That's a fact.
It's just a fact. Eazy ain't had the greatest flow or delivery. Certainly to me, not enough to be above Exhibit, not to be above Nipsey, not to be above J-Rock, not to be above Schoolboy. I mean, there's probably 30 people I put in front of Eazy-E as a rapper, and I give him some credit because of the time and the era, what he meant to that era.
Yeah, that's a lot of credit.
That's a lot. Go there,
but he didn't write it and he didn't deliver it well.
Neither did Dr. Dre.
I think Dre's too high. For the same reason.
I don't like the...
Although Dre was a lot better rapper than Eazy-E.
Who wrote and who didn't write? Eazy-E didn't deliver it well. It was like blasphemous.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Am I wrong? You think Eazy-E flowed on beat, for example? You're wrong. Go back and listen to Eazy-E's music. Go back and listen to it.
Eazy is one of my personal...
Eazy rapped on beat a lot.
Yeah, but it sounded good, though.
I don't think he's terrible. I just think there's a lot of people better. You know what I mean? He wouldn't be. I don't think there's only 8 people in the world who rap better than Eazy.
Go listen to Straight Outta Compton and all that. He was in the hood, all of that shit.
Oh shit! Here come them motherfucking cops. Nothing about that was on
nothing. Nigga.
Like the verses I know him from in 90, 91, 92 when my older brother was doing it. NWA. What he was saying on those joints, I think his voice is too instrumental to hip hop as a whole.
Straight Outta Compton, another brother that'll smother your mother.
His participation on that
he wasn't
alone, I can't shit on him. I think what you're saying is like in hindsight. In hindsight, we could say that voice and the flow and all, but in its time,
he was the shit.
Nigga,
and again, I'm minding my business. I'm not telling LA people how to feel about no LA people. I know my list would go differently. My list would go different. Because when they do these lists, that Complex list said LA's best rappers. So I guess it's impossible today for people to put names on a best rapper list without mentioning your accolades and how much you achieved in rap impact, music.
Yeah, right. Yeah, true.
See, for me, I don't always do that.
As far as rap goes,
as far as
rappability, when you talk about best rappers,
my list be more so you have ears,
Razzcast,
you have, and I want to steal. I'm glad you said that. I want to steal that list from the athletes. The athlete podcast today, when they mentioned players and how great they were they go to what version of them they're talking about, and I think that should happen more in hip hop. Like when they talk about Dwight Howard, it's like 2012 Dwight Howard. In hip hop, like you say Razzcast, Soul on Ice Razzcast, you're not naming 20
You can't
West Coast
name a
rappers.
bunch of niggas.
That
You're
rhyme
not
better than
naming-
Soul
Exactly.
on
Name a
Ice
bunch of
Razzcast.
niggas that-
He still
Not
raps great.
possible.
He still raps great.
Bro,
You
You're
know
not
what I'm saying?
naming
Monster.
20 West Coast rappers that rap better than Crook.
Facts.
Agreed
That's
again.
true.
You're not naming
That
them.
is
I don't
true.
care whose list.
Ice
You're
is
not
correct.
naming 20
he's
rappers.
Corrupt is on
that
that
rap
list
better
for
than
me.
Yes.
For sure. And still sounds good.
Yes. Like Corrupt was something different back then.
Death
Like,
Certificate,
yeah.
Ice Cube, shit,
Yes.
and
Ice Cube.
Predator and Death Certificate and America's
All
Most
America's Most
Wanted.
Wanted.
Ice Cube is number one.
Ice Cube should be solidified regardless.
Yeah, Ice Cube is number one for me.
Ice Cube. But then
Top
so
three,
so my
you
thing,
know
I
what I
think
mean? Like-
I think criteria comes into play.
Kendrick now, probably.
Right? I think criteria has to come into play because when you start talking about Snoop and what Snoop meant to hip hop, and I can
It's more
only
than music.
imagine what he meant to West Coast,
LA, yeah, for
California hip hop, then Ice Cube to me raps better than Snoop, but that don't still mean Ice Cube would be higher on the list.
Ice Cube raps better than Snoop. Ice Cube has a better discography than Snoop.
Yeah.
Ice Cube,
But still,
and them
Snoop is
slider
probably-
markers.
Yeah, he
nothing.
does. Yes, he does.
I don't know
Yes,
that.
he does.
Oh, his own personally.
Yes, personally.
Percentage wise, but I don't know about
Overall.
Overall.
Yes,
That's
he
tough.
does.
I mean, if you take Ice Cube's 3 biggest albums, right?
I love Ice
and then
Cube.
you
Yes,
take Snoop's
To be
3
clear.
biggest albums.
What are Snoop's 3 biggest albums?
Well, we gotta go. We gotta
Doggy
go Doggy
Style.
Style.
Name the other ones.
We gotta go. We gotta go to the one with.
You don't know the name.
That's my point.
Demi and Molly. Drop it like it's hot on it.
Rhythm and Gangster?
Yeah. We gotta go there, and then we gotta go. What would the third one be?
See? We
That's my
can
point,
go
though.
Ice Cube,
I
America's
had to
Most
go, I
Wanted,
would say
Death
Murder was the
Certificate.
case.
Murder was
Discography-
It's not an album. That was just a soundtrack to the movie. It's not his.
Discography, by the
Murder
way,
was the case is a song on Doggy Style.
Discography singles too.
discography
Features.
includes singles too and features. If you go to someone's discography, it doesn't just show their albums. It
That's
shows
where,
all of their
Snoop
released
gets,
material.
that's where Snoop catches up, I think, and actually
He
passes.
does. He does.
He passes him.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
overall.
Because you look at him on a crime. You look at Snoop on
He
a crime.
doesn't, because now you got to bring NWA into this argument. So you mix NWA and Ice Cube in this argument. He's going
Ice
to
Cube
lead
still
Snoop by a mile.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
know.
I disagree.
Hell
with
no,
that.
I disagree with that.
Yo,
I mean, I don't know.
I think
if that's
the
true.
answer is Ice Cube too, but I don't think it's.
I won't disagree. I just don't know if it's true.
I'm saying
I would
I
need to
think
hear more.
Snoop is bigger on the list based on his impact in hip hop and
Yes.
West Coast hip hop.
See, I have
But if we talk about Ice Cube as a rapper, bro, Ice Cube is one of them, and he don't get the credit.
I
that
agree.
he
There was a
deserves
time when
at
Ice
all.
Cube was considered one of the top
He
2 or
was
3
top
greatest rappers
5
ever.
rapper in
ever.
the world.
When we talk about the influence of West Coast rappers, we're talking about a legacy that's reshaped hip-hop from its very foundation. From the gritty streets of Compton to the beaches of Long Beach, West Coast rap brought a sound, a perspective, and a cultural swagger that changed everything. What made it stand out? For starters, it gave voice to communities often ignored, transforming pain, resistance, and survival into poetry. In the late 80s and early 90s, groups like NWA brought the raw realities of police brutality and gang life into mainstream consciousness with unapologetic energy. Their music wasn't just entertainment, it was a wake-up call. Straight Outta Compton wasn't just a track, it was a movement. Then came Dr. Dre, whose innovative G-Funk sound layered melodic synths over hard-hitting beats, creating an entire sonic identity for the West Coast. Artists like Snoop Dogg, Tupac Shakur, and Ice Cube carried that sound forward, balancing smooth charisma with pointed social commentary. But it didn't stop there. Tupac especially stood out, not just for his lyrical ability but for his depth. He was both a street poet and a revolutionary voice, speaking on issues like systemic racism, poverty, and inner-city struggles. That duality, of rawness and reflection, is part of what keeps West Coast rap relevant. Even after all these years, you can hear the DNA of that era in modern hip-hop, from Kendrick Lamar's Pulitzer-winning verses to the resurgence of G-Funk-inspired beats in contemporary music. West Coast artists have consistently evolved while staying rooted in authenticity. They never chased trends, they set them. Whether it was the cultural aesthetic of lowriders and khakis or the soundtracks of rebellion and pride, the West influenced not just the music but the fashion, film, and lifestyle surrounding hip-hop. In the end, West Coast rap has always been about more than music. It's been a mirror, a megaphone, and a movement. And that's why, decades later, it's still shaping the genre, pushing boundaries, telling truths, and defining cool on its own terms.